Hello, welcome to Drinks with Ron. I'm a very haggard-looking Ron, and I think it's time for a beer. So let I get to that. Direct your attention here to the triumvirate of taps here at Third Generation Brewing, where we do things in threes. And first decision is, yeah, that's what kind of week it's been. So we'll go to the Pilsner, we'll go to the Radio Mofo tap, which I should honestly probably move over to the soda side. But let me digress. We're gonna fill this delicious looking cherry, blackberry vanilla IPA. Whoa, if you see from that swirly way that, I don't know if you caught that, the way these bubbles dropped there. I got just a little bit of nitrogen in this guy, and you can kind of see it kick in with the high pour. But let me double digress, because, wait a minute. I've got to get us to a new segment called Random Hat. So Ron, what random hat do we have in store today? We've got a very special random hat. This one, it's a Steelers hat, but it dates back to when, Cordell Stewart would have been the quarterback / in Pittsburgh. It is a very 90s looking pro player hat. Look at that. Beautiful flat bill. I don't like flat bill hats, but this one kind of needs to be that way for a certain reason. Let me tell you why. It's reversible. Huh? So now you can, it even tells you if you weren't sure. So, yeah. Can't really bend the bill because it would look stupid when you flipped it over to the yellow side. So, hat complete, beer in the glass, record on the platter. John Lee Hooker, we learned in the last episode, we do not get copyright violations for. So let me drink to that. Oh, man. I was drinking Cherry Bomb Blondes all weekend. Those like 15 IBUs, so this is kind of like a little aggressive, switching back to it. But yeah, I was on Twitter the other day to get us out of the 90s. Don't worry, I'll get us back there shortly. But The Rock apparently had a new movie coming out, and there was something trending, and it was basically something about The Rock's got a new movie coming out based on one of your old favorite video games. So my reply was, man, The Rock's gonna fucking kill it in Paperboy, the movie. I thought it was fucking funny, man. I love Paperboy. The video game, classic. Doesn't track now, because I don't think Paperboys are a thing. I'm here in rural Wisconsin, like one of the last, like we've got Amish all around here, and they're not that far behind us, let me just tell you. So yeah, I don't think Paperboys are a thing. Because I love the video game, the guy in a bike, backwards hat, chucking papers. Because, you know, that was still kind of like the vision with the 1950s Paperboy, throwing it on the porch. No, man, I was a fucking Paperboy. You just huck it on the porch as you strolled by. No, you had to go take it up to a house, put it in a box, not a mailbox. That's not mail. It hasn't been posted, hasn't been paid for. You cannot use the mailbox to put the newspaper hand delivered in. Learned that one along the way. But yeah, there was none of that. In fact, it was a lot of people were real big sticklers about not only the place, but the time, the manner of the delivery. And let me tell you why we don't have Paperboys. Because it was a shit fucking job. Shit job. I was telling a guy today, I mean, this is back in the 90s, but we're talking, I think in the year and a half that I did the paper route, I think I went from 12 something to 13 something a week. Yes, a week. So here's what I'd have to do. I'd have to take my bike, go to the place where they dropped off the newspapers, which fortunately for me was 2 houses down and across the street. So there, you'd strap your papers are all strapped up, you'd sack them up, jump on your bike, and you'd start going to your route. So they were nice, all in order. You had your names. And, well, you'd have to be trained first off, because I said everybody wants their paper in a certain location. One guy wants it in the door, one guy doesn't want it in the door. One guy wants it in a fucking ammunition box, one guy wants it in a Tupperware, somebody's got a fake rock. I don't know. There's shit you gotta deal with. Some people got dogs. And like I said, $12 a week. I'm in Wisconsin, okay? No, you know that it's shit about 6 months of the year here? I mean, picture a kid, on a goddamn 10-speed. And, sack full of papers waiting you to one side. Oh, hit a patch of ice? Yeah, you'll find out about that weight getting fucking redistributed pretty fucking quick, my friend. I had a few of those. I remember one day, sometimes you'd be fortunate. My mom, a lot of times, would give me a ride. So one day, me and Mom, Jerry, they took me on the route. It was shitty, icy, slippery. But I'm in a hurry. I want to get done. I want to get home. Jerry's a good time. We're going to have fun. So I'm running up to a door. I get up the driveway and the paper goes up and just apart and just streams down everywhere. The old guy comes out like making sure I'm not dead. And I'm just more worried about the goddamn hardware store flyer getting away, because you don't want to give these people poor service, because not only do you get to go out, the rain, the slush, the fucking snow, all the same conditions that the post office does with, benefits and pension and the whole fucking deal. No, you're doing all that shit for $12 a week, and you gotta go door to door and actually collect payment from people because your money's due to the newspaper. You're like an independent contractor. So I'm buying these papers, then I'm taking them out, and whatever I'm making over top of what I'm paying the newspaper is what I get to keep. So basically, if a couple of stingy people don't give me their $2.75, which was the weekly fee, basically 4 people don't give me that $2.75, I don't get paid that week, because I still have to pay the newspaper whether or not I collect. So whether or not they're just not home, whether they're not answering the door, whether, oh gee, I can't find my pen, every excuse. I'm like, motherfucker, $2.75, and I had dudes get a month behind, and it's like, fuck, if they don't pay me, I'm on the hook for this. So, I mean, there were weeks where I basically went out there and delivered for free, because I couldn't get deadbeat newspaper payments. Somebody give you a sack of fucking pennies. It was a shit job. And the worst people on the whole goddamn route were the people with money. You got somebody, like I said, yeah, you might have a guy give you a sack of pennies, but I could appreciate that because, hey, he had to string together pennies. That's cool. Put them in a Ziploc bag, and I'll hash it out later in my little satchel, a zipper sack, for my payment. When I had a little binder with rings, and there was little cards you would tear off. So you'd tear it off, and then you'd give it to them. But then sometimes they were perforated, so sometimes they would fall off. Well, then if it fell off, and you got the customer that wanted it, and you didn't have it, they could pull the old, well, I must have paid you already then, where's my slip? So, like I say, it was a shit job, and the worst were the people with money. My route was like 2 fucking miles long. Snaked through town, out of town, up a hill, through a subdivision, and back in. After I quit the route, somebody came down from Dubuque, drove me on the route, and went, holy shit, we have to break this into 2 routes. Like, yeah, you fucking think? It's forever long. So the one dude, though, get mad that the paper was late and wanted it in his front door, in the front door, which was cool, except for that he wouldn't shovel, so I'd have to go through knee-high snow and trudge up to force his door through the snow, put the paper in, and shut it. Fuck you. You own a goddamn radio station. You can't spring for $5 for the neighbor kid to come and shovel out for me? No, you're gonna leave it like that and then bitch about the job I'm doing. Yeah, well, I earned that $12.75 that week. But I learned things, important lessons, how to deal with people, the shady nature of people, and the various fuckings of the word. It was $12, man. That's 7 days a week. That's less than $2 a day to haul this shit. I'm surprised it took me that long to fucking wise up to it. I honestly feel like a fucking idiot saying it out loud right now. $2. Man, you busted your ass. $2. But you should have seen my fucking quads, man. Because my gears on my 10-speed kind of rusted up, so I couldn't get out of low. So I was huffing those big fucking hills, man, and it was kill. I had some huge fucking legs. Probably still why I walk like a fucking dingus, but But yeah, Rock's gonna fucking kill it in Paperboy the movie. Bring it back to my underappreciated joke. But time is winding down. The
John Lee hooker on the platter
is winding down. 17-minute side of the album, 2 songs, and we're almost through number 2, which means I need to get through this delicious beer and get out to the grill. So, with some blues on the platter, some beer on the tap, random hat on my head, and a heart full of joy, thinking about the newspaper route, I'm Ron, signing off.